Hey, we started with a doctoral student at the University of Minnesota. We're going to keep on talking to the University of Minnesota. And with me, I've got Linda Kinkel and Carl Rosen, both of which are going to be in the Innovation Hub, I think at 3:30 today,
correct.
talking about a lot of their research. And the research is all about soil health as it relates to potatoes. So tell us about the research and what should farmers be excited about.
What we're here to talk about is the new nationally funded SCRI grant, which is a 10-state project that focuses on soil health, including both soil health from a soil science perspective, which Carl brings to the table, and the soil microbiome perspective, the biology of the microbes in the soil, which is really the area that my focus stands in.
And in these 10 areas, it's all about potatoes or other crops as well?
All about potatoes.
So it's all, oh, that's fabulous.
It's a 4-year project, and so there will be an integration of different rotational crops and 2- and 3-year potato rotations, but the focus of the crop is 100% potato.
And Carl, what kind of potatoes are we talking about? Just a single variety, or is it across varieties?
It's going to be across varieties. Of course, we want the same variety in some treatments,
sure.
but
to have an AB, yep.
Yeah, we need to have some conventional, but we also want to look at some varieties that might be maybe more tolerant of some of the diseases that might be a problem in potatoes, and so we can take a look at the root system of those potatoes or the microbiome of those potatoes and see how they compare with some of the conventional ones that might be a little more susceptible. See if we can figure out what's going on in that soil system.
So congratulations on getting the grant. That's first of all.
Well, thank you very much.
I know what it takes to get these grants, so congratulations. I'm going to ask each of you the same question. At the end of 4 years, what is your hope? And I'm sure that part of the process is you tell them what you want to achieve, and you never know what you're going to do. But what's your hope at the end of 4 years that the outcome of this is?
That's a great question that we really, I don't say struggled with, but we're excited about in putting the grant together. And the project involves a pretty aggressive platform of experimental treatments on research stations plus grower field studies. And in both cases, what I'm most excited about is that we will be developing collectively a national database of soil microbiomes, the bacteria and fungi in soil, and how those either track or are predictive of potato health, low diseases, potato yields, potato quality. We don't have that data presently in hand, and with what we are beginning to understand about soil microbes, we're realizing how important they are to potato productivity. This will be our first comprehensive, really continent-scale analysis of soil microbes and potato productivity.
So as you're doing this research, are you involving blockchain technology to have all the inputs that are available?
Yes. And
yeah, so that's the part that I'm most interested in. We're trying to look at management practices that are associated with better soil health, optimizing soil health. So if there are certain rotations, so we have traditional rotations, but there may be some rotation crops that might provide some inhibitory be able to inhibit some of those soil-borne diseases, and maybe that rotation crop will be better. Maybe there's some type of an inoculant that we can use. And we're also, fumigation is a big practice that is used in potatoes. How can we maybe use that to our advantage?
So what's the typical, and I don't even know if this is a silly question to ask, but what's the typical rotation for a potato crop?
Well, it depends on your region. I can tell you in the upper Midwest, it's normally potatoes, corn, soybean, potatoes, so it's a kind of a 3-year rotation. You might have some other crops in there, but one of the crops I'm interested in is small grains like wheat, because it comes off a little earlier and there's some time to put cover crops in. So we're looking at things like cover crops that might be able to keep the soil covered, but also at the same time maybe help that soil microbiome and optimize it a little bit better.
So now you have the grant. now you have to do it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So talk to me. I mean, this sounds like an enormous project. So what are the steps to it? How do you do it? How many people are involved in it? How are you using technology with it? I mean, all the above. Who wants to take a stab at that?
There's four major objectives. Okay. And the first objective is to look at these management practices and see how they affect the.
And that's relatively easy data to get.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's easy data to get because we're using some very.
They're cutting edge techniques.
Cutting edge. That's the word. Cutting edge technology to get at it. We're basically analyzing the DNA in that soil.
And the management practices are coming from the farm level.
That's one of the exciting parts about the project with the 10 different states. Each state is empowered with their capacity to design their own experiments within broad framework that we all have agreed to.
And you have to manage that.
We manage that, and the biggest first step in management is communication. So the moment we got this grant funded, Carl, who's the lead of the grant, set forth to develop a communication strategy. So we all have been engaged in ongoing discussions. We've shared experimental plans. Our design includes 2 treatments that everybody must do exactly the same across all states.
Sure.
But then each state, then based on input from their local grower communities, can design the treatments that make most sense in their state, and then we share that information to try to look at where there's opportunity to leverage one another's data, and so that communication piece is how it's going to work. And we've already made, I think, great headway in getting a really fantastic design for the first growing season.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Yes, thank you so much.
This research is going to do great things for the potato world.
We hope so.
That's our main objective.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Don't forget, the Innovation Hub sessions are going on right now every 20 minutes. We have new ones coming up. You guys are going to be up there at 3:30 sharing more about the research. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. We're live at the Austin Convention Center at the Potato Expo. This is called The Eye, just like the eye of a potato. How tacky. Okay, we're going to take a break.